Unfortunately. Looks like Flash still marauding around with vultures. Might be trying to attack again, but I think that would be foolish. At this point, best to conserve his units for the upcoming battle, which looks like Best might be deciding to push ahead a bit, but I don't think he's going to engage just yet. Best with Arbiter warded away by the turrets there, it looks like. Flash's defense are solid. I don't think Best is going to be able to break through. Flash with more vultures killing probes left and right here. Flash pulling back after killing most of the probes yet again, really reducing Best to 4 effective mining bases. Now, but Best has set up so many cannons, which is exactly what he needs to do to protect his bases. Flash has lost a lot of vultures in these repeated forays, and vultures are not, they are very important to a Terran army. Flash setting up expansion, while he has no way of defending the expansion at the 7 o'clock. As soon as Best realizes that. Flash persisting with these vultures, but Best with so many cannons doing a great job of defending, and Flash, I think, is being a bit foolishly persistent here. This harasses have increasingly diminished returns, not really able to accomplish much. And unless Flash brings in a main army to attack, I don't know whether this is really going to be worth it. Even Flash can't afford to be throwing away this many vultures. Flash transferring SCVs, they're going to get completely caught in the middle of the map. Kind of a rare lapse, unless this is suiciding his own SCVs. I don't know. Possibly free up Psy, and now Flash persisting with the vultures, doing good damage, but I think he's taken more losses than he wants to overall. And yeah, Flash just suiciding his SCVs there. Best setting up all sorts of gateways, it looks like, at the 7 o'clock, where Flash had tried to put down an expansion. So Best really trying to take over as much of the map as possible. Flash now pushing out with an absolutely ridiculous army of tanks. My worry again is he doesn't have the proper screening forces to protect his mech army. Now Best is going to engage, and he's going to re-macro his forces as best he can. Good stasises, I have to say. Flash bringing out vultures to screen his forces now. Big battle going on in the front. Arbiter EMP action all over the place. Those stasises have sort of protected Flash's backline tanks, but critically, Best has High Templar in that shuttle. That shuttle doing great damage, causing all sorts of havoc on Flash's forces. Unfortunately for Best, Flash's defense is way too deep. Best has, at best, penetrated maybe half a tier of Flash's forces. Flash, at least 2 screen deep. Possibly 3. Now Flash pushing out again with his tank force, which has been barely diminished. He's going to have a whole bunch of tanks on stasis soon enough. He's EMP'd all these Dragoons, it looks like, not really catching the second Arbiter. I guess that would be more important for him to catch. However, Best, even though he suffered a defeat, is not going to be too bothered. He's going to be able to re-macro from his 30 gateways. It's probably more like 20. If Best can manage to reform an army soon enough, he might be able to force Flash back. He needs to have his army out sooner rather than later. He's streaming reinforcements in. Flash still has the superiority on the field. We'll see how long that might last. Best still has a shuttle, presumably with more High Templar in it that he's just going to unleash at the right time, hopefully for Best. Flash streaming reinforcements in, and now it looks like, again, Best might be engaging here. I think that would be a mistake. His forces aren't nearly as significant as Flash's. We have Storm coming out all over these tanks. Flash's forces so clumped up, but Best ultimately does not have enough units to get it done. Flash takes the field yet again, although his tank forces are seriously weakened. If Best can rally an additional round of reinforcements, he should be able to break Flash's push. He needs to do this, again, sooner rather than later. Flash is taking this opportunity to expand. Not too much Best can do about it, save maybe send a few Dragoons to harass. Now, Flash is going to try to push across this bridge here. If he can gain position over the Natural, Flash is going to be in good position, but Best rallying reinforcements. He's lost 2 battles, but it's not going to bother him too much. Oh, these Zealots cleaning up these tanks here. Absolutely vital work here for Best. You can see Flash's army is seriously diminished at this point. His tank count, significantly whittled down, is still formidable. But now Flash losing additional tanks, it seems like, and Best, with his macro telling for him, managing to drive Flash back despite Flash's absolutely devastating push, and this is exactly what Best needed to do. Best will soon be working on 6 spaces, probably only 4 mining, but more than enough. Flash dropping now, it seems like, at the 7 o'clock, but Best forcing Flash back into a defensive position, stopping Flash's push. Good game, I have to say, by Best thus far. His macro absolutely insane. Flash needs to try to avoid pitched battles like this, and Best now cleaning up Flash's drop, almost killing the Nexus even. Flash, his strength is being, he needs to pick his place of battle instead of going toe-to-toe with Best in this sort of macro fight. Let Best come to him. Best not necessarily always the brightest of players. Flash trying to continue with his harass. I don't think it's going to work though. Best has too many gateways there. Flash setting up more expansions to mine as best he can. But I'm not sure how he's going to be able to defend some of these. Arbiters coming. There are 4 Arbiters out for Best. That is a dangerous number of Arbiters. Stasising a few units. Now Best coming in with a massive army, and Flash does not seem to have the forces to cope here. His tank count has been seriously whittled down. So many Arbiters out for Best. Are stasising a good chunk of Flash's units. These Dragoons fighting against tanks. The tank's doing a good job. Best sort of suiciding his Arbiters, rather foolishly, I might have to say. Fortunately for Best, he's got too many units to be stopped. And these forces are going to be able to break through Flash's defense. So unfortunately, perhaps this is the injury telling for Flash. His macro does not seem to be his usual self. It looks like Flash losing Silence Vessel and these tanks. I think this is going to be GG to Flash. Again, I'm not sure. Perhaps, I mean, this is certainly a well-earned victory by Best. He didn't do anything particularly special except macro like crazy and beat Flash with sheer weight of numbers. I mean, he lost 2 battles in a row there. But, I don't know. Flash's macro does not seem quite as good as usual. Plus, he was persistent with his foolish Vulture harass. After, I think, the first 3, he probably shouldn't have continued. Nevertheless, Best is going to take the game. He has too many units to be stopped at this point. I just wonder whether perhaps Flash's injury has been a factor in his loss here. It probably was, at least a contributing factor. Somewhat disappointing, I feel. Again, usually I think Flash's macro is better. He's also better at doing multi-pronged attacks than this. Still, Flash, despite his diminished capacity, is able to hold out for some time. Best did also mix a good number of Templar into his army, very important. Those storms were very helpful in winning his battles too. So good for Best, taking another victory over Flash here. And SKT is going to win the series for the 1, it looks like. I don't think there's much that Flash can do to come back from this. He's going to be mined out soon from his remaining 2 bases, and then it's going to be over. Because Flash had a great number of tanks, but usually I would imagine he would build more to reinforce his tanks, and he did it. I don't know, something seemed a bit off, I have to say. Plus he suicided a whole bunch of SEVs early on. I mean, to free up Psy, of course, but it seemed odd. It seemed too early to be doing that. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess there's not too much to be said. Best, again, not particularly special with his play, just a horde of units. That's how he's been winning this game. He's got another army re-macroed up. He's probably going to try to break Flash now, persisting with these attacks. He can afford to throw away units if he wants to. Flash, though, going to be able to defend quite well, I have to say, with a few units that he has. Oh, but these Templar with all sorts of storm over Flash's forces. And that's another thing. Flash's forces are so clumped up this game. That's not unusual for Flash, though. He has been known to make that sort of mistake, but I wonder how much the hand injury may have contributed to his sort of a blind spot there. Best attacking rather poorly, I have to say, losing so much of his units, but again, he can afford to throw away units at this point. Flash needs another base, though. As long as Best can stop Flash from putting down another base, he's going to win. There's no question about that. Best, I mean, this is what I mean. Attacking entrenched terrain he inflicted so few casualties considering the power of his army. And now Best coming to attack these tanks, this time a slightly better attack here. Flash just doesn't have the units to deal with this, unfortunately. He's doing his best to push out, but it seems like for every unit he kills, Best has 2 more popping out of gateways. And now Flash is probably outnumbered at least 3 or 4 to 1. If he decides to defend, Flash is going to be able to hold out probably for another 5 minutes at least, but Flash doesn't want to do that. He wants to try to push out, get another base, or die trying. Valiant effort. EMPing the Arbiters, but the Arbiters seeing the science vessels, and now Best engaging out in an open field. Flash had no choice but to do this, and he's going to lose all his units. GG, surely coming out soon for Flash. I don't know why he's persisting with this. He's lost at that point, frankly. GG coming out for Flash. SKT1 wins 4-1. Again, Best is otherwise deserving victory, marred only by the fact that I don't know how much of that may have been due to Flash's injury. Something did seem a bit off about Flash's game. He doesn't seem upset by it too much, frowning a bit, but let's see where we can get a shot of his hand. It's his right hand that is injured. Well, you can't really see. Anyway, thank you for watching.
장면을 만들어내서 거울아 누가 제일 세니? 이 5번째 세트는 도지영 선수요 라고 대답을 하고 있는 것 같습니다. 네, 도지영 선수가 중요한 결정적인 순간에 이영호 선수를 자꾸 잡아내면서 네, KT 갈 길 바쁜 KT를 진짜 암울하게 만드네요. 네, 이번 경기도 지금 3위를 지금 내려앉은 KT 입장에서는 뼈아프게 작용할 가능성이 높아졌습니다. 진짜 안타까워하고 있고 도지영 선수는 진짜 기분 좋게 했는데요. 나한테 물량하자고? 야, 이거 보세요. 이영호 선수가 진짜 많다. 네. 진짜 징그럽지만 흔히 말 토나오게 많다라고 얘기하지 않습니까?
네, 확실히 도재영 선수만의 테란전을 상대하는 노하우가 다른 선수하고는 다른 노하우가 있는 것 같습니다. 네, 멀티를 한 타이밍 좀 빠르게 가져가주면서 미네랄코에 길을 딱 이렇게 길을 모아주는 플레이가 일품이었었는데 SK텔레콤 T1은 오늘 경기 거의 완벽한 승리를 거둬주면서 기가